your wrestling journey. How did it all start for you? What made you decide, you want to be a professional wrestler?
Let's see. For me, what it was is, I think it was back in 2013. 2013, I started a new job. It was an office job. I sat there. I think it was like my first week, and I think somewhere in that first week, I was just sitting at my desk, and I was like, "Damn, is this it? This is just my life. This is about all I'm gonna do, you know?" And I was kind of sad about it. I was like, "Man, no, I gotta do something else. I don't want to just like work, go home, and like that's it." So I kind of started racking my head of like things that I might be able to get into that I really like. And the first thing that popped in my head was wrestling, right? And this was around the time, CM was 2013, so CM Punk was like still like the hottest dude around, and I was listening to like the Art of Wrestling. I was listening to a lot of like I was really paying attention to like the independent scene and how getting into wrestling worked, and I just thought, okay, maybe wrestling. I loved wrestling like for practically my whole life. Let me see how I can get in. So I go to I remember I see like a flyer. I think I get a flyer. Oh, I remember. I was at a bar. I was watching a pay-per-view, and some guy handed me a flyer for Gold Rush Pro Wrestling in Pacifica, right back where I'm from in the Bay Area. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'm with my friend. Hey, you want to go check this out? We go check it out. Wow, this is really cool. This is really cool. And then we're like, hey, let's go to the next show. We go to the second show of Gold Rush Pro Wrestling. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask if I can, if they have a school. So some of the wrestlers I see who becomes my future trainer, and his name is Dylan Drake. I go to him and I ask him, hey, do you guys have a school? He's like, well, we're actually thinking of opening one up very soon. Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, great. And then I get his contact. I actually, it's funny story. You guys are gonna laugh at this. There was a girl there that she was kind of working the show, but she was working the show as like a manager type of situation. And I knew her from online dating. And I did, and then I recognized her. I told my friend like, hey, what's her face? And he's like, no way, no way. He's like, you should ask her about the wrestling school stuff. I was like, okay, fine. And granted, and this was nothing happened between us. We literally just stopped talking, and we never met in person. So this was our first time meeting in person.
Oh,
I walked up to her during this wrestling show, and I'm like, hey, and she's like, oh my God, what are you doing here? I was just like, checking out the show. So, wow. So and she talked about wrestling school too. So I was like, are you like wrestling? Are you like wrestling now? She's like, no, I'm just, I'm trying to train. You should try to train too. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. So we swapped contacts. We got in touch of like, oh, like this school's cool, this school's great, I don't know so much about this school. Long story short, I showed up to Gold Rush Pro Wrestling training school, which was a offshoot of the APW boot camp up in the Bay Area. I don't know if you've seen Beyond. Have you seen Beyond the Mat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember the school there? Do you know APW?
Yeah, I remember.
I know which one.
Okay, so APW, they shut down because Roland Alexander, that guy in the documentary, he passed away, and this was like the resurrection of that school in Gold Rush Pro Wrestling. So, I started off over there, and it was funny because I was like, dude, I'm like 5'4", 5'3", right? And then I'm like, I didn't play sports in school. And then I was just like, I'm gonna get my ass kicked. I'm like gonna get my ass kicked in training. I've heard all these horror stories of people throwing up, giving up, getting their arms broken, their legs broken and stuff. I'm just like, but I got into this mentality of like, you know what? I'm here and I'm just gonna do the best I can to get through this. I'm gonna do the best I can. like no matter what happens, if I break anything, I throw up, I pass out, I black out, whatever it might be. So then I do the damn thing, and then I end up being like the first one in my class to debut, and it was really awesome. But it was literally me committing all of my time to training. You know, like I would work, go straight to training, and I would probably be at home. I was living with my parents at the time. I'd probably be home just to sleep, and then go back to work, and then go to training. You know what I mean? I missed out on a lot of like kind of family functions, you know, things like that. It was funny that I have to I have to shout her out because I think it's just interesting. Is you know, Thunder Rosa and AEW. Yeah, we started at the same time. She started Gold Rush with me, so we've known each other for a while, and it's really awesome this because we would like be competing like all the time, like in training. Dude, she was, dude, I'm telling you, she was like the most athletic person there for sure, for sure. Like she was way more athletic than me. She was way more athletic than like everybody else in our class. And you can see like she's like honestly the hardest worker in like wrestling that I know. Like there's no one I know that grinds harder than her. And I am not even surprised that she is where she's at right now, you know. But yeah, I mean that's essentially how I got my start, you know. My trainers, if you're curious, are yeah, Dylan Drake, Matt Carlos, and another man I owe a lot to is Idris Jackson, who I trained with. All like great Bay Area staples. Got real lucky with those guys.
That's awesome.